The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Aging Horizons. Today we have a very special guest with us, and that guest will be talking about the 57th Governor's Conference on Aging. She's going to be giving us the date, the conference is, the location, and so much more. So please stay tuned, and we will be right back with all the information.
Benefits can be complicated. Getting help shouldn't be. Montana Veteran Service Officers offer free, confidential assistance to help veterans understand and receive the benefits they've earned, state, federal, and beyond. There's never a charge, only support. Connect with your local VSO today. Call 406-324-3742 or visit veterans.mt.gov. Montana Serving Veterans.
Brought to you by Montana Veteran Affairs Division and this station.
It's been 27 years. I never thought I'd still be smoking, but here I am, COPD and all. I'm about to have a granddaughter. There's so much to show her, but I'm scared I won't be able to keep up like I used to. I kind of gave up on myself on quitting. But it's different now. I want to be here for her and for my daughter.
Hey caregivers, did you know that respite time is your time? How will you spend it?
How about some good old-fashioned me time for starters?
Michelle Smith, Helena.
Or maybe play a high-stakes game of volleyball with my other kiddo. Gotta teach him who's boss, you know? I could even make my famous spinach lasagna. Never hear any complaints about that.
Montana Lifespan Respite. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it.
Hey Mom, more lasagna please?
Sometimes the difference between having the life-saving medications you need and going without is the premium on your Medicare drug insurance. If you're a Montana resident enrolled in the Medicare prescription drug program, you may be eligible to receive help with your premiums, even if you own your home or other assets or think you may have too much income. Call or visit the Big Sky RX website today to find out if you qualify.
There you go, ma'am. See you next month.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host, Wilmot Collins. Today we have a special guest with us. This is a program brought to you by the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services, the Aging Services Bureau. Our special guest today is Tessa Bailey, and she is the Bureau Chief for Aging Services, and she's also the coordinator for the Governor's Conference on Aging. Welcome to the program, Tessa.
Thank you, Wilmot.
So let's get right into it. Tell us about the 57th Annual Governor's Conference. So, who puts it up? Who puts on the conference?
Yeah, so like you said, this year is the 57th Annual Governor's Conference on Aging, and it is put on by the Governor's Advisory Council, along with our Aging Services Bureau, or what we call our State Unit on Aging. Right. This year, it is going to be in Kalispell at the Hilton Garden Inn on October 6th through the 8th.
Oh, great. So we should be looking forward to that. So, the mission, I know there's a reason we do this.
Yeah.
So what's the mission of the conference? What do we hope to accomplish?
So the conference focuses on the needs and challenges of older adults and people with disabilities in our Montana communities. And it also is a conference for their supporters, their caregivers, their family members, their friends, their neighbors. And so we have a wide array of topics related to aging and disability issues. It fosters a good understanding and support among the attendees of the conference, and better navigating the complexities of caring and for vulnerable individuals and just for aging at a personal level.
So, great. So who are some of those that you expect to attend the conference? What are some of those attendees?
Well, some of our most attendees are a lot of our providers around the state because, of course, they are working with this older adult population and the caregivers on a day-to-day basis. So we have a lot of staff and employees from our 9 area agencies on aging around the state, a lot of interest from our local senior centers from all around the state, the staff and participants. We have a good amount of just older adult individuals that want to learn more about all the aspects of aging. And we also have the caregivers that come because, of course, they're caring for either their spouses or family members, and they want to learn how to best handle all the situations that come with aging.
So how is the conference funded? I know everything costs money. And so how do you fund this program?
Sure. This conference is totally self-funded.
Oh.
So we get, we have sponsors and vendors from organizations, from national organizations to our statewide and local organizations. And it also comes from just the registration payments from the individuals attending the conference. But it's totally self-funded. There is no state funding that goes into this conference.
Registration, you said registration. Mm-hmm. So what's the cost for people who want to register and participate?
Yeah, the cost is $100 for the full conference, which is 2 full days, because we are doing a half day on October 6th in the afternoon. We'll do a full day on October 7th, and then a half day the morning on October 8th. So really 2 full days, but that includes, the $100 registration does include lunch on the 7th and the 8th, and one of the primary things is it includes our centenarian lunch on the 7th, and we can talk about that more in just a little bit.
Yes, indeed. So who are some of your sponsors and who are some of the vendors that participate in this program?
Sure. So we get so many sponsors every year, and from all organizations, especially ones that work with the aging population. So for our sponsors, especially for this year, we already have sponsors in what we call our gold level, and those include AARP, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Ipaga Home Care, and then we also already have committed sponsors such as A+ Healthcare, Easter Seals Goodwill, Consumer Direct Care Network at our bronze level. So we have many opportunities. We have lots of people already signed up for not maybe doing full-on sponsorship packages that we offer, but doing exhibitor booths, vendor booths already. And we have a whole host of state agencies that come and are there with all of their information for people to gather and ask questions during breakouts and at the beginning and at the end of the conference days.
That is awesome, Tessa. Thanks for doing this. Now, I know you don't want to give us all your great information out, but you do have speakers. You do have important people coming up. You do have speakers that will be speaking on various topics. What are some of those topics that we should look forward to?
Right. Well, this year we have some great speakers. Our agenda is kind of always fluid up until about a month before the conference, so we're still working ins and outs of the agenda. But we have topics from Medicaid, and there are changes that came down federally for the Medicaid. And we have topics from fraud and scams to elder abuse, and palliative care versus hospice care and the difference between those. Brain health and how to keep our brain young, dementia care, and anything from people that may have to, as you age, go into facilities such as long-term care or assisted living facilities. Information on all types of topics.
So we should expect a full agenda.
Yes, a full agenda.
Whoa, thanks. We will be taking a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back and discussing the centenarian luncheon.
Yeah.
So please stay tuned. We will be right back with more information. We've got Tessa Bailey, the Aging Services Bureau Chief, with us today. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
This is Sergeant Jones. Please respond. I was separated from my squad. The human heart. Even at its strongest, it's a fragile muscle. Chest and arm pain, shortness of breath, are signs of a heart under attack. But 3 numbers can save a life. Dial 911 at the first sign of a heart attack. Quick response from medical experts can save your life.
I was 45 and it happened to me, a heart attack.
Dialing 911 saved Ryan's life. Now he's here and he's healthy.
This message sponsored by Mission Lifeline Montana.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
Can you say ombudsman?
Ombudsman. Ombudsman?
Uma Doodlesman? Fortunately, you don't have to say it right to get the help of a long-term care ombudsman. If you or a loved one reside in assisted living or long-term care, an ombudsman can help resolve any issue. And these services are completely free and confidential. Now, why don't you try that again?
Ombudsman.
Hello, we're back with more information on the centenarian luncheon for the Governor's Conference on Aging. Tessa, thanks for all you're doing for our community and the Bureau. So tell us about the luncheon. What does it entail? What is it?
Well, the Centenarian Luncheon is probably the highlight of the Governor's Conference on Aging every year. Everybody, attendees, to our staff, to the centenarians and their families themselves, look forward to that luncheon every year. It is just a joy. And so this year, the luncheon will be on Wednesday, October 7th, the middle day of our conference. It's always at noon. And we, invite all centenarians that are able to come. We have an application process for centenarians, and it's really anybody that will be 100 or 100 plus by the end of this calendar year, so by December 31st. So even at the conference, if they're not quite 100, but they will turn 100 by the end of the year, we ask them to be included as well. But it also includes people that are over 100, which we always have many of those as well. So
how many do you expect this year, do you think?
Well, that varies, of course, every year, because we are talking about people at 100 or more. So some, of course, are able to travel to the conference a little easier than others.
Right.
We have anywhere from probably between 6 to 25 people attend and their families. So it really just is a variation every year, just depending on the centenarians and, if they're able to travel to the conference location. But they always bring family members, and it is just a fun event.
So I see previous year you had about 21 centenarians. Wow.
We had 21 centenarians submit for certificates. So on our website, our conference website, we have a centenarian page where the centenarian themselves, family members, friends, if the centenarian's in a facility and the facility wants to send in the application on the centenarian's behalf. But there's an application process that we get. It asks basic questions, date, birth date, of course. But anybody that fills that out, they do receive, no matter if they can attend the luncheon or not, they receive a signed certificate from Governor Gianforte, which is always a highlight, especially if they're having a big birthday celebration. But we ask lots of questions on that application that they can fill out or not, but it's fun for us to learn a little bit about their lives as well. So last year we had about 21 in total around Montana submit, and we had about 6 people attend the conference.
Great. So tell us, I know you have some fun facts about all the centenarians.
Yeah.
So you want to share a fun fact?
Sure. Well, probably the best part of my job, completely overall, of all my duties, is putting together the centenarian booklet that we hand out at the conference during the luncheon every year. And that incorporates all the centenarians we had submitted for the year, whether they attend or not.
Right.
The centenarians that don't attend do receive the booklets, or their family members do. But it highlights their life. On our application, we have anything from where they grew up to what they did for a career to the most amazing event that they've seen over their 100 years in their life, or any stories they want to tell. And most of them don't think they've lived incredible lives sometimes. They've lived very simple lives, but when they really get into it and start explaining it, they've lived some pretty incredible lives, and they have seen a whole host of changes in the modern world, which is pretty fascinating. But a couple fun facts we have from some of the centenarians this year are, we have a gentleman who he rode elephants in Nepal at the age of 80.
Ooh.
And he also hiked Machu Picchu to the summit at age 82. He was recruited by the CIA back in his younger days, but did decline to join the agency. Another centenarian, she loves reading so much that she has over 3,000 books in her home. So you can tell she's dedicated to reading, and obviously probably why she's lived to be 100, keep her mind active. But we also have a centenarian that was stationed at Fort MacArthur in California during World War II, and he was able to see a number of he was a dentist for the fort, but he was able to see a number of the USO shows that were put on during wartime from celebrities, from singers, actors. But that included, he got to see such incredible performers during that, such as Frank Sinatra, Perry Como, and many other celebrities like Walt Disney and Lucille Ball. So they've kind of just sometimes, even though they live in Little Montana, you know, they've lived some pretty fun lives.
They've done it.
They have. They really have done it.
That is so neat, because to see, like you said, Montana is such a small state, relatively small state, but when you hear what these guys have gone through, it's like, wow.
Yeah, they have really lived their lives. And previously we've had centenarians that, you know, one time their house burnt down way back in, you know, the 40s, and they lived in like a sheep cavern tent for 2 years, and she raised her children in that. And so it's just, they've also lived pretty hard lives, where sometimes I'm not sure if I could live quite how they did sometimes.
Nowadays, no.
Yeah, they really went through it, and so they really are just amazing, and we love honoring them at the luncheon every year.
And they live in tent in Montana's winter.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So Tessa, I really want to thank you, and I know we have more information to cover, but we have to go on a commercial break, so we'll be taking a commercial break. Please stay tuned. We will be right back with more information from Tessa Bailey, Aging Services Bureau Chief. We have so much more information to cover. We have the mini grant, we have the mini grant amounts, the awards, how it's funded, and so much more. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If extreme weather conditions threaten the ability to safely operate the electrical grid, energy providers will turn off power to help protect public safety. As a homeowner in the wildland-urban interface, you need to use this knowledge in your wildfire mitigation planning. Putting a sprinkler on the roof of your home is not a workable fire mitigation plan unless you have a generator. For more information, contact FireSafe Montana today. This message brought to you in part by Northwestern Energy and aired by the Montana Broadcasters Association.
Medicare loses $60 million in Montana each year, $70 billion nationally. Medicare processes 4.5 million claims a day. They don't know who your doctor is, but you do. Mistakes can happen.
Read your Medicare statements and call Montana Senior Medicare Patrol if you see anything unexpected.
1-800-551-3191. This project is supported by a grant by the Administration for Community Living.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
I was angry and upset when the doctor told me I have diabetes. I just didn't want to deal with it, the needles and the diet restrictions. But after I started to learn about it, those feelings changed. I was at risk for a heart attack caused by high blood sugar. That got my attention. I started watching my diet and making sure I got enough exercise every day. I want to be around for my grandkids, and now that I know what to do, it seems like a small price to pay.
Ask your doctor about diabetes education or visit montana211.org.
Welcome back, and we will continue our discussion with Tessa Bailey, Aging Services Bureau Chief. Tessa, we're just talking about mini grants. So tell us about the mini grants. Tell us the ins, the outs, everything about the mini grants.
Yeah, you bet. So the mini grant are an integral part of our Governor's Conference on Aging because they help support some of our rural communities with just some basic funding necessities that they may lack. So part of the mini grants, they are provided by the Governor's Council on Aging, which helps sponsor the Governor's Conference. And they help facilitate some upfront funding to these rural providers for anything that they may need, innovative ideas that they want to try out for their older adult population in their communities. So yeah, they can kind of work on a multitude of levels.
So are there specific eligibility activities that they must qualify for?
Yeah, so these grants are specifically for our communities that are under the population of 10,000 in Montana, so our very rural communities. And why that is because really they have a harder time sometimes securing funding that our bigger cities, towns such as Billings, Missoula, Bozeman, are able to attract sometimes. And so our real rural towns sometimes just have a harder time accessing funding opportunities. So this is to help them. And it can be any type of provider that services older adults. It doesn't necessarily have to be a senior center.
So what are those awards amounts?
So we award anywhere, it is a mini grant, so it's not a huge amount, but it is enough to help sometimes. And it's anywhere from $200 to $1,000. And it doesn't seem like much, but it does help when they are just in need of something or might have a small creative idea they want to try out in their community.
So how do you get the mini grants? How do you get those grants?
So the application for the mini grants are on our conference website in the mini grant page. There's an application that we have you fill out, and then how that works is if we get an abundance of applications, which we do every year, that we have a committee that selects the winning grants every year. Yeah.
And how do you fund it? How is the mini grant funded? Because I see you talk about silent auction. You know.
The silent auction at our Governor's Conference on Aging is the real primary sponsor for these grants. So every year, entities that attend the conference, whether that be our staff, our division staff, whether the Area Agency on Aging staff, senior centers, to our organizations such as AARP or other organizations around the state. A lot of people submit items for the silent auction and donate items on just their generous behalf. And all of that, those proceeds go to funding the mini grants for the following year.
So who were some of those grants awarded to last year?
Yeah, well, last year we were able to award 4 $1,000 grants, and they went to, one was Community Harvest in Thompson Falls, and we helped them purchase a new refrigerator that will then ultimately to provide food for the older adult population in their community. The Knoxon Senior Center, we helped them with a hot water heater replacement. So a lot of times, especially in this instance, we aren't the sole provider of the funding source. They have other funding sources they're working with, but
need a little extra.
They just need a little extra help to get them to that ability to either purchase or replace things sometimes. Last year we also awarded funding to the Richland Affordable Housing entity in Sydney, and we helped them kind of set up a relaxation room for their older adult participants with what they call SAD lamps, but it's lamps that help your mood, calming, meditation, people if they're feeling depressed or anxious, that can go in and just have a little relaxation moment in the room and, able to clear their mind a little bit. And the last one we had was with St. Ignatius Senior Center, and for them, they wanted help purchasing an outdoor events bulletin calendar board. So a lot of our senior centers mail out their activity calendars to participants every month, but they would like one posted outside their senior center so anybody could see what was going on. But this one is weather resistant, so it can be outside. And this also went to help them purchase some new card tables for their activities and card games, because theirs were roughly 50 years old.
So yeah, and that will help also to reduce costs for them, because if they keep mailing the activity events to the members, whereas the members can come and see that board, it will help them a lot.
Yeah.
So how do we apply? How do we apply for the conference?
So to apply for the conference, the mini grants, the centenarian luncheon is all on our conference website, which will be shown on the screen. And so there are applications, there are pages to each of those sections of our conference for the registration application for the conference. And also if anybody would like to sponsor or be a vendor of our conference, that information is on our conference page as well.
Okay. We're almost out of time, but we still got a minute. So tell us what you want us to get from this. What's the registration process? What's the date? You want to just go over it quickly with us?
Yeah, so to recap, the conference this year is October 6th through the 8th at the Hilton Garden Inn in Kalispell. Registration is $100 for the full conference. We do offer half-day conference registrations for $50 if people can't make it the full time or just want to catch sections of it. We do offer that. And to register early, we also have a link to get the hotel discount if you're staying up in Kalispell. And what a great time to visit Kalispell and Glacier National Park is right after the summer rush.
All right. So Tessa, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. You provided so much great information, and I'm sure this year conference will be a great success. Thank you for joining us. So to the audience, this has been Aging Horizon, and I've been your host, Wilmot Collins. See you next time.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.